Bills Fan Podcast, episode number 253. I'm your host, at least for now, David J. Palermo. I got some stuff in the works, like overthinking and doing nothing. And on the show, we have across from us an early supporter and one of my favorite people I met through his sister, Andrea. And Nick, love you, dude, always. And so, welcome to the show. Nick Papagelis, Nick Pop 12. You know him on the fucking van screaming whatever it takes to get you riled the fuck up. And he'll call it how it is. We had some great conversations. And one thing I just want to talk about is typical me. I have no stats in front of me, at least right now. I made no notes because, frankly, Josh Allen was let off the fucking leash. And if you guys have been following along on Instagram, I try to make some kind of content every week. And Instagram is finally where I want it to be. But setting up a podcast and making a living room nice and doing whatever the fuck I got to do to be on video is kind of where I want to be. But I've been doing 1-minute videos. And the one thing I've been talking about is the trenches being on. And Nick Pop and I were just talking real quick. I'll give you a quick preview of the show, which was in the Josh Allen draft this year. The big theme has been the trenches. I always thought with being like, yo, you ship out that talent. Oh, okay. Show me McDermott's notepad to fucking make up for the talent you shipped out, because that's really putting bets out there. But you have Josh Allen, and we did a live draft show. I ripped the fucking pick apart because of what happened with EJ Manuel, and he better have the support. If he doesn't have the support, then the scouting reports are going to be correct. But when I saw him in OTAs and in preseason game 1, I was in a casino, and I'm like, this kid needs to start. And if you actually go back to those preseason games, his rookie year, he actually had just worse field position than Peterman. And coming from a franchise that, frankly, shipped out star players from their hockey organization and systematically tanked it, and you hear that after the playoff run, that after Game 5, Incognito went into the coach's room with the O-line and said, yo, we were the number 1 rushing team, you're 1 and 2. Those are red flags to me. And I if you go forward, I really liked what the Bills were doing. It was a modern, the game is going towards a run. I've been saying this forever. And this game against the Patriots is the modern fucking NFL of the quarterback. And Josh Allen, to me, is, I love Aaron Rodgers, but this he's doing some different shit. You like the Pat Mahomes little fucking sidearm shit. Josh Allen's doing it with the spiral, not looking like a loaf of bread. And frankly, I love Rodgers, but Josh Allen will fucking run you over like Walter Payton, which is kind of weird. So, Nick, let's spit it to you. I thought what he did, hands down, against the Patriots was what we've been waiting for fucking years. And I actually give a fuck. I think it's Tuesday today, and I'm still happy. So
Dude,
walk me through it.
it's been a great day. You just get a little extra pep in your step after a Patriots win. You know what I mean? Like, Wegmans is better, work is better. I mean, so that's like, that was last year Josh Allen that we were waiting for today. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if like Deion Dawkins going back in, if he's good, if that's why he had more time, but he had like 4 hours to throw this week. Um, but yeah, I think he's hit it best. I think that college big running quarterback is what we're going to be seeing the NFL turning into. You see it with Mahomes, you see it with Josh Allen, you see it with Lamar Jackson, who I think sucks. Um, you see those running quarterbacks and I mean, we still need a running game. I mean, Devin Singletary's, RB2 at best. So pay attention, fans, to this college football playoff. Either that kid from Michigan or maybe a kid from Alabama coming to Buffalo. But yeah, that was awesome this week, man. It. I only saw half the game because I'm not a little stitious. I'm superstitious. And when I was in the kitchen at my boy's house, the Bills did better, so I just waited for them to cheer, and I ran out and saw the play. And then when the play started, I ran back in the kitchen because I didn't want to screw up any karma. So I had to go home and watch the highlights on my phone.
If I was to tell you, I wish I gave a fuck that much anymore. Like, I used to sit on a couch certain way, a hat certain way in the stadium,
Yep.
ready to deck the kid behind me who's in the phone this whole time. That goes, oh, of course, McCulvin. And I go, shut the fuck up. I'll fucking murder you. No, I didn't say that. But, I just wanted to grab him and just throw him
I
down.
might have said it.
You know what I mean, dude? And then me and my friend are maybe thinking about getting a bulldoze fucking beat down in the bathroom. And, like, this is years ago. And now I've been so, like, red pilled with this whole fucking thing of the military industrial complex, the big pharma thing. I was telling you pregame here, not to get into it, but just for the fans, I want to update people. Like, I am probably the only voice that's saying fuck this mandate in the media, and I'll fucking own it. And if that's what I'm here for the players, good. Fuck everybody. I don't care if they got a problem with it. I don't care if it causes a problem with my family, my fucking friends. I study this shit. And what I mean by that is I listen to a lot of data. So when Big Bird gets fucking medical advice and the guy, Dr. Malone, who invented the goddamn mRNA, whatever the fuck vaccine, the actual dude, is banned off the internet, and the guy Kerry Mullis, who invented the PCR test, there's a video out there which two mysteriously died in 2019. Not going to talk about it, but that guy says a lot of stuff that if you look into it, the information's out there. You want to DM me, I will help you. But I don't think Cole Beasley's off his rocker. I do want to talk about McKenzie balling the fuck out, though. Can we hit that while we're here? So this is where I think the coaches are.
He deserved it, though.
He did, but I think the coaches are absolutely fucking retarded sometimes. And I've been saying it, the common theme is get the fuck out of the player's way, because when we hit the playoffs, Nick, what happens? Coach cramps up. When we hit these games, it's like, yo, your team plays well when you're ahead. Get the fucking points up. Get the points up. Let Josh throw.
It was nice to see him do that, though. Like, they didn't punt, and they went for it. And they were going for it on 4th and 7. And I mean, they jumped off sides, but like it's
what we were waiting for, right?
We need that. We've been waiting so long for that. All right here. That's all we need.
Hold on one sec. Hold on.
I'll take it.
Remember that commercial where the guys did the golf clap and you had to do a little bit louder for the seniors in the senior PGA tournament? No.
Yeah, that's way back.
Yeah, dog, way back. Yeah. So before we dive into,
I don't know what your what coaches are like playing Beasley over McKenzie. Maybe it was just, McKenzie had a big game against the Dolphins last year, but that was kind of in crap time. But there's no way you can keep him off the field after a $125 or buck whatever he had receiving. And
they gotta seriously. They got to play Madden, Nick. Like, I really mean it. My boy Breida. I got so many, like, one-play touchdowns on Matt Breida. Dude,
Breida
it's a troll.
Box of rocks.
Dude, he has to be. Breida, if you're watching, what the fuck, man? I'm going to bat for you. I know you're not watching. You have a life. But, like.
Nick Pep, D3, D lineman. I was on the punt team in college at my best, and I can probably learn the playbook quicker than you can, bud. It is brutal watching him out. When he gets the ball and he runs, it's like, oh man, this kid's awesome. We need to give him the ball. Then the next play, he goes left instead of right, like easy stuff. I'm like,
yo, not for nothing. I watch Najee Harris is made my fantasy team, and I barely watch him. So I put on the kid that works with me, Ryan Jones, awesome dude. Shout out. He fucking like, I have to hear Steelers talk, and I don't mind it. And I'm like, cool, Harris. So I put on the game the other day. And I'm like, okay, he's doing the CJ Spiller where he just hits the edge, except he pulls a little Marshawn Lynch and just grabs one arm and just like dads you down into the ground and then just gets gang tackled. And I'm like, like, what the fuck? And Breida is kind of disappointing. And the thing is, Nick, I hate to tell you, I believe that the media is designed certain ways. And when the narrative on Twitter was the Bills need a running back right away, I think that was kind of put out there as let's keep people busy here because, frankly, you know what the Bills have needed for years is an O-line, and McDermott has done a horrible job with it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and not for nothing, the most resources I've ever seen sunk into a D-line, and what's smart is once McDermott took over, they had a whole different public relations guy take over. So... you don't have the leaks like you don't have
squeeze a little.
Yeah, but you had it wasn't even Russ Brander, it was another guy. I forgot his name, but they moved him within the organization somewhere else. My point being is you don't get as much bullshit on the Bills, and the more I dive into the league, The Bills do a good job of having positive, corny media out there. Frankly, I think a lot of it's cheesy. Like even a few years ago when Josh Allen's like throwing 70% and he threw screens all game, I'm like, don't even fucking tempt me to shit all over you, Twitter Bills. Just stop, And I try to be positive with it, but we're not stupid. So they're very good at hiding their faults, like the defensive line of how many resources you got. Multiple second round picks riding the pine. I gotta say, like, finally, yeah, and you finally have guys that you have, but you traded for them. I can't. I gotta admit, they nailed Josh Allen, but I gotta give it a credit to Jordan Palmer and Josh Allen's family for raising him. And when I saw Josh Allen laughing at himself and going, "Yeah, I hope my accuracy gets better too," as he's signing autographs. Like, I knew the kid would do it. It's just we've seen, and it was empathy for the players, so many quarterbacks and players come to this organization and have these unreal expectations that they're the fucking hero of the franchise. And it's unfair to them, and I didn't want to see another kid get beat up here.
I agree like 80% with like that. Because I think when the Bills have their starters, their starting five that they want out there, I think they're pretty tough. I mean, Darrell Williams can leave something to be expected. He had a good year last year, though, so I kind of see where they were, even though he is a turnstile this year. But their depth has been terrible. I don't know. Ike Bucker's been serviceable. Darrell Williams is a joke. Cody Ford has taken such a step back; it's ridiculous. Like, I thought I had such high hopes for him after his rookie year, but the D line, like the way too much emphasis in, like, I know what they're doing. They're trying to get like a veteran squad in there, and that's why they're keeping Jerry and Mario. But like, Jerry's not even getting like his pressure that he usually gets. Like, he's not a big stats guy, but he's a focus. He was on that D-line.
top five last year. In the league, pretty much.
A lot of step backs there. Vernon Butler's a first round pick, and he is. They might as well put me out there, 36.
Bro.
Okay. I haven't had
let me go
since I was 22.
So look, I've been in the dark about the Bills for about a season and a half on transactions, because if I would have known about this Butler character a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I would have been just like losing my shit, because I was losing my shit over Trent Murphy, because you signed a guy a year after his ACL injury, and it takes players 2 years. And not for nothing, you had Shaq Lawson.
He had like 11 sacks last year.
Here,
right? Then he had ACL. Then he had like 11 sacks. He had a pretty good year.
And I thought he had 9 or something in Washington, and then he tore his ACL, and then he came here. But he sucked, bro. Remember Chris Kelsey?
So bad.
Like, just useless. Yeah, I'm sure. And I was at camp with an ex, and she goes, "Oh, who's that?" And I'm like, "Don't you fucking dare Kelsey me with this mediocrity." Like, you fucking serious? It was Chris Kelsey, dude.
He's so tall, though.
Dude, he's a strat.
We were at like a family thing, and I was with Sammy, our little friend who has Down syndrome, that tailgates with us. So Trent Murphy walks by, and Trent Murphy's like so tall that I'm not tall, I'm 5'10", but like I'm eye level with his funny business, and his fly was down. I'm like, I can't look away. Like, he's so tall, I'm so short. So I'm like, Trent. He's like, "Thanks, man. I really appreciate that." And I was like, "All right, man." I had nowhere to look. If I didn't tell it, your dick was hitting me in the face. So, thanks. But now, Trent Murphy was. Oh, I felt bad. His sister, Harrison Phillips' sister, we met. One of them, super nice. But now it's tough. I don't know. Like,
but you know what? Hey,
like their most productive DN, and he's at what, $7.5 million right now, with like 4 sacks, like. Rousseau, I thought he was going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. I haven't heard his name called since like week 3.
I thought in camp he looked like Mario Williams. I'm like, oh my golly! But frankly, I thought
he looked like Mario Williams with Houston. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Mario Williams could get out from the fucking tree he's hunting under right now and fucking play better than the whole D line. Like, I wish they get the game back. Like, what the fuck is Kyle Williams doing? What the fuck? Like, get in there.
He's in the tree next to Mario.
So before I go through revisionist history, I really want to go through Josh Allen. Do you got stats on hand? Let's just talk about how he took over the game. He walked over the Patriots. It's something we've been looking for. And the Bills, McD let them lay the wood, man. And fuck you, Jerry Sullivan. Where you at, dude? You're all proud. And,
Jerry Sullivan has sucked since the Bruce Smith and Jim Kelly were in town.
Hey, Janine Talley did say on Twitter, though. Janine Talley did go to bat for him, though. And said, hey, he criticized, my hubby, and he became a better, football player for it. So you never know. I guess it could work, but
if you're gonna try and tell somebody that they're not good, right? If you're gonna be like have a little bit of background in it. The guy's a 150-pound piece of shit. You never even, they didn't have Madden back in his day. They didn't have flag football back in his day when he's like, come on. Don't ask a guy if he's embarrassed when you've never stepped on the field. That's a bullshit question. But he's got nothing else. Like, his name is in the news right now, even though he got shit canned from Buffalo News 3 years ago. So, I mean, more power to him. He's making his money.
But, well, it kills me. These guys.
We'll stay on Josh Allen if you want.
Yeah, let's go there.
Finally got the key. Finally got keys to the castle. And just went off. And, you could tell it just something clicked. They were saying, Sacapaccio was saying how, the Jacksonville game, they were just too relaxed, too down, too whatever. We're just going to roll through this, looking ahead. I mean, they were focused, ready to go, except for Emmanuel Sanders, who doesn't have any of these guys anymore.
Hey, let me stick up for Emmanuel Sanders real quick. This is where the coaching went stupid. So as I'm looking up stats, as I said I wouldn't, just because I want to sound fucking smart, as I figure out the Bills app here.
Why do you look those up? I've hated Emmanuel Sanders since he faked getting knocked out when he was with Denver. And then they threw a flag for defenseless receiver. And all of a sudden, he's fine. He's doing his bullshit-ass bow. I think London Fletcher hit him. I think it was that long ago. But I've hated him ever since then.
You're absolutely killing me right now. So, as of right now, Josh Allen has 4,048 yards, 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 65% completion percentage.
The same numbers as last year. He's doing the exact same as last year.
Here's what I hate, and I have to be honest with you, Nick. I don't want you to break up with me or hang up. I could not get enough Bills talk when the Bills lost to the Patriots at home. I could fucking not. I was so fucking thrilled because I went to the home opener, and it's the first time I smoked a joint in the stadium, ironically, and I was with my dad. And, of course, he was smoking a cigarette. Somehow he must have shoved them up his ass or something. Some other dude who was busy getting kicked out of the stadium supplied me a joint.
Bills don't scream. You just put everything in your boot. You're fine.
Yeah, right? And dude, allegedly. So,
allegedly, yeah. Allegedly put it in your boot.
I went with my dad's girl who's a Steelers fan. And, dude, the whole stadium, and I know you were in your seat. I was actually kitty corner from you to the right down there. Bro.
Okay.
All the internet believers and bullshitters and the fans in the stadium who are just fucking delirious did not believe the Bills were really going to lose the game until about 85% through. They were like, oh, my. Meanwhile, Claypool is just like this over me.
Well, yeah.
And I'm just like, in the same spot where Peterson caught the one fucking, interception there, whatchamacallit, when he was on the Cardinals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, an amazing catch of Claypool wrapping around, I think, Trey White or somebody and catching a ball, not touching him, not interfering. And it was crazy. And, to see the Bills get their dick kicked in by Jacksonville, get their fucking dick kicked in pathetically by the Patriots.
Their offense got their dick kicked in, yeah.
Everything was about, dude, everything was about, hey, I'm Coach McD, and I'm fucking smart. No, you're fucking not. You don't realize what team you have. I don't want to hear about the fucking snow. and you have design runs for this kid as a rookie, and the division's on the fucking line, and you just decide not to have one design run for him, and I don't know, the snow. You have the one goddamn moose on the field, and you don't even decide to take him out. You know when fucking Santa Claus, we would go as a kid down to Greensrich Mall. I'm sure your parents would take you. They got the motherfucking horse that's huge. Yeah, that's Josh Allen in the snow. Yeah, the monorail. You got the big horses that the cops ride. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What are those? Those fucking... Yeah, that's Josh Allen. And guess what? They let him out the fucking tank against the Patriots round 2. And you know what sucks? All the Bills did was they listened to Shope and Bulldog or whoever did the post-game show or Nate Geary or got on the internet. Whatever they did, hey, man, I love Shope. Shope was sticking up for Tyrod when I still was. I was like, all right. So, my point is.
I still stick up for Tyrod.
Dude, that's a whole nother show. That's off-season.
Yeah. The things, I don't know if it's McDermott or it's Dable if you want to, just get McDermott by association. But I think Dable had a really hard time with adjustments this year. I think last year he was able to get saved with athleticism. I think adjustments have been a huge issue for him, like changing it like that. So when you go out your first 15 plays, those are going to be called right off the bat. And how many times earlier this year was that first possession after the half, like a 3-and-out or maybe one first down? Like those are scripted. Those are supposed to be your money plays. Like we know. This play is going to lead to this play. This play is going to lead to this play. And they're just shit in the bed there. That's when I was like, yeah, Dable's having a hard time with adjustments. And I was like, before this Patriots game, I'm like, well, would it really be that bad to, have Dable go take over the Jacksonville job or something if he gets that head coaching job?
No,
Ken Dorsey in there, who's the greatest college quarterback of all time.
Let's make some media headlines here. So we are 20 minutes in. My background ain't up to par. I got some stats going on. And Nick, I heard a rumor on a certain podcast. I'm not going to name the name. Maybe Cover One that maybe some guy might have had some audio from the owners allegedly. That great podcast. Shout out Eric fucking Turner. And I was on Twitter, and apparently Greg Thompson is partial owner. So Greg, fucking dude, your voice is beautiful. Eric says I can message any of you guys to talk to me if you want to waste your fucking time. But, I reached a vine out to Nick Pop over here where he can do anything he wants if he wants to donate to the channel or not, or else whatever. Like, I would love to get you guys involved again.
I have no affiliation with Cover One. But every time my boy Jerry, shout out Jerry, that I was over his house on Sunday, he's telling me the podcast he listens to. I say, Numb Bills fan and Cover One. If you want to learn about football, go to Cover One. They know. It's
I can't believe you.
To Merrill Hodge back in the day.
Really, dude, and that's the thing is like Greg and Aaron Thompson, they become my regulars, my one-time go-to because when I'm trying to get back to blue pilling my life during this pandemic here, I have been just really trying to get down to it, and they're the ones who got me really hyped on Rousseau. Like we were talking earlier, and if it wasn't for Eric Turner, dude, I wouldn't have gotten to get to the sidelines with Kevin Masseri and Drew from Rock Power Report, and just to be a fan and be like you and me and be like, how do we reverse engineer? Because I did not believe that the Bills sucked that bad. So if anybody is watching this for the first time, like I never believed that the team sucks that bad. I believe in the players, and you have to understand that the players here are in a situation where they are controlled. And make no mistake, I don't know what's up with Deshaun Watson. I don't want to accuse what's real or not. I don't fucking know. But that's a really sketchy franchise. Okay? I
feel bad for David Culley, too, going out there sacrificial lamb. Poor guy you got to take the head coaching gig.
I don't because he was a horrible hire. I'd fuck David Culley to this fucking... His product was Nathan Peterman, and you let him waste 1 year with Josh Allen? I'm sure he's a hell of a dude. But don't act like offensive line coaches and Juan Castillo is your first fucking hire, which is to dismantle what the fuck was the only thing going right, which is the run game of Buffalo. Like, come on, man. And then you go to Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he might not be quote-unquote great, but, like, not for nothing. If you're a Bills fan and want to get to the playoffs, you could have ran that same offensive line scheme with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And they should have let him rip his rookie year. And after the Pats game 2 seasons ago, Davo goes, use their fucking head that game. Then he didn't throw it deep like at all, you know. So this really
Yeah,
was
yeah,
get
yeah.
him off the leash, man. How do
Yeah,
we
it was
even
great.
get
It was
here?
great to see. Just old school Josh. Just old school Josh, man. It was good to see. And I mean his throws are so nice. If he and like you need really good hands out there for like I dumped on Emmanuel Sanders because of something that happened like 10 years ago. But I mean, you got to come up with that ball, that back shoulder. You're gonna catch it weird. And that's what Isaiah McKenzie did. Isaiah McKenzie caught those weird balls. That's the only spot that like he has a chance at it. That D backs don't have a chance at it. Um, he caught those. That's why he had a buck 25, I think, in the air. And
Right.
I mean, of people that deserved a big game, it's Isaiah McKenzie. He's my wife's favorite player. If I could get the jersey from Japan here before the end of the season, I'd buy her that one too. But I bought her at Diggs because Diggs played catch with her last year at the Colts game. So,
I remember
but I
seeing
mean,
that.
just that was insane. I thought he wanted to throw to me. He looked at me like I was the biggest asshole in the world. Me? Me? No. Oh, the female. Yep, the 35-year-old man. Yep.
You know what's weird, dude, is like I don't know if I care anymore. Like I would love to, but I just feel like a 37-year-old man. I'm just like I'm like, should I even talk about this? I just look at systems and I go, okay, how can the players shine? Just like if you look at it, like how can you empower people you hire or where you work, you know? So all right, so we're 26 minutes in. Do you have anything you want to get off your chest? You want to call some shots on Tremaine Edmonds? You want to lay out a couple minutes
Yes.
on it, and then we'll
Yes.
follow up with this. So can I
Tremaine.
go in on? Let me
Tremaine
go in
all
on him real
day.
quick. Let me go in real quick on him. So I do have the Tremaine Haterade cam on, but I also know with the Haterade cam that means sometimes you have to, when you're a young fan in this shit of reverse engineering bullshit, you have to understand the Haterade cam. You might be focusing in on things that don't matter because you might have did his job on the play. So in Idiotville, we have 1 out of 11 people have to do the right thing. So I will say I think he over pursues, and I will say my only beef against him is in work you can't have fast and necessarily great work, and you can't have slow and suck. If you're slow and suck, it's horrible. But what you can't have in
Yep.
sports is the rounds 1 through 3 in football with so many positions. That means, oh, guess what? If you go through your system, there has to be a player in the first few rounds, top 5 for your system that fit your needs. And when Tremaine Evans came apart, I loved the measurables and all that shit. But I'm like, hey, Josh needs an offensive line. I don't want to hear about it. Wood and Incognito were out a month plus before that draft that the next year, and they ignored it. And I'm sorry, Dawkins is already here. He was trained up from Incognito. Who knows what good coaching what happened? And Tremaine Evans, unfairly to him, was 2 third-round picks and a first-round pick, obviously. So 2 third rounds to move up. So for me, when you deplete the roster as a Bills fan of all this fucking talent, which Sammy Watkins second rounder turned into Josh, but man, it would have been nice to have something for Tyrod to take the defense with him because it's fucking chess, not checkers. So with Tremaine,
Right.
by the time he's going to be good in that same draft, you're telling me you couldn't just pick up a stud rookie maybe 2 years before you think Allen gets good in the first round anyways, been a linebacker? Because I don't want to say Preston Brown was just as good. I don't want to say he wasn't. But my point is people look at him like a really poor, out of service linebacker, whatever the fuck. But the fact is like I don't think he was the worst as everybody says, and he was $5 million in Cincinnati. What's he doing now? I don't fucking know. But my point is
With the
you're making a
Vikings.
big bet with 3 first round pick or 3 day
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
starters and that guy, and it's unfair to him to be in that position. So I think if he signs again for a reasonable deal, I'm down. But he's got to be more instinctive and either smoke more weed or smoke less weed. You know what
Dude,
I'm
he can't.
saying?
You see those nostrils? His nose is this big. You can't keep a thing in there, man. It's right out, right out. Um, no, so Preston Brown. I really liked Preston Brown. I met his dad is a real good guy. His dad was like his high school coach. Real good guy. The only thing is, there's between Tremaine and Preston is where Tremaine's too fast and over pursues. Preston's too slow and never gets there in time to make that tackle. So you kind of need the middle guy in there.
But he didn't
Preston
have a
Brown
hard
also,
time with the run. Like the run didn't seem like, but that was also a different
yeah,
age of football
he
where people were still
he's
trained to
also
stop the run first, right?
he's also a different coaching guy. He's a Rex Ryan guy, so he fit that scheme. When he was kind of just he was just a product of new coach comes in, new coach wants his guys and wants his system. Kind of like Tyrod. Tyrod probably could have stayed if Rex stayed if they made the playoffs one of those years. Rex was still here. We'd never have Josh Allen. He'd be in Cleveland right now. But
Right.
I mean, the Preston was just kind of caught up with that. I remember listening to Will Compton, shout out the boys, talking about Preston Brown not taking responsibility for like a missed block on a punt and got cut like Tuesday. Like, I don't know. I was blah blah blah. I was supposed to do this. Like, see you, bud. He got shit on hard. They're like, nice guy, but fuck him. He's out. Um, so about
My
Tremaine.
point is linebackers they say are a dime a dozen like running backs, and they gave away 3 starters when we're lacking in the offensive line, and then we go defensive line the whole fucking time. And not for nothing, I don't give a fuck whose draft it was. Pat Mahomes is not on the Bills, and that is a cheap take.
Yeah, but
People
Trey
are like,
White's on the Bills.
I understand, but when people are like, you could have Ben Roethlisberger, it's like, yo, I hate that take. I hated that take in the day, and I understand that's what I'm doing here.
They could get Ben
but
Roethlisberger. They picked like 12 that year.
I'm just saying, are you sure? As
I
in,
think
like,
he went like 7.
everybody has
Like
the
the
takes.
Patrick Willis went right before.
So everybody has the take. My point is the after the fact take. Like, why don't you do what it takes before?
Yeah.
Like, why don't? And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But I
Yeah.
also hate anointing a coaching staff just as unfair it is to anoint Tremaine geniuses. So with Tremaine, I actually think he's a smart, heady player.
Mm-hmm.
And if he could be reasonable, I think he's worth keeping around. Like, because he's the cutting edge, I thought, linebacker, which was he's going to be good in coverage. The thing is, all the rosters in the league now have thinned out so much that guess what the advantage is? Running. So
Yeah.
I think like you said, when he gets fatter, he's going to be great. He needs to get fatter and get mean.
Too much. Yeah, he needs to get mean. Yeah, I think they rely on him too much on like one-on-one with running backs and coverage, which is kind of a tough break for him. I think I think they're kind of hanging him out there to dry, which has kind of worked. I mean, there's still we're still complaining about the starting middle linebacker. I think there's still a top 5 defense in like the entire league. You know what I mean? They were number 1 until the Colts game. Number 1 in the league in everything before the Colts game. And I want to say they're still top 5 for it. I mean, this is still a very good defense. I mean, the Patriots lost. They let up 14. They let up 200 yards of offense. That's a good day. Like, I would give my ball sack for a fucking 200-yard day. I mean, his biggest issue is he doesn't shed blocks that great. He needs a little bit better of a D-line, which is where we can get into with that. You know, he needs a little bit better D-line to keep some of those blocks off him so he can get in there and make those plays. But, I mean, here's where you are where you want to talk draft capital. They have a first-round pick, a second-round pick on D-line. They still have Jerry Hughes that they're paying a lot of money, and Mario Addison a lot of money. And we're just not getting the production that you would hope for that much money. And who really got the pressure last year? Harrison Phillips, or this week. Harrison Phillips, Ed Oliver's playing out of his mind right now. Like, he knows he's about to get
Hey,
paid.
shout out to Harrison Phillips, man. Another guy with a knee ACL thing where it takes a little bit of time to get back. And dude, yo, he saw opportunity, he went for it. And dude, I used to be a Star hater, but for him to come in, and the only reason I was a hater, to make it clear to fans out there, again, a lot of first-time viewers, I'm hoping, I didn't like the Darius shit. If you're such a good coach, you get the guy to play for you. I understand he had his issues, but you don't train him for a bag of footballs and then say he's too much money to the fans, and then sign in Star Latule, one technique type player, like literally doesn't do shit, but keep your linebackers clean. Well, cool. And the thing is, Nick, is I have to wake up that the league is upside down, and I hate to say it,
Mm-hmm.
but I do
Yeah.
not think that this team could hang with teams of 6 years ago and 5 years ago. I'm sorry to say that. I don't think they could.
Well, yeah,
That's
they're
just my own
built to
opinion.
play right now.
Right.
I mean,
And,
built to
and, and
take
that's
on
what I liked
the
about McDermott is he had the cutting edge of the time defense
yeah.
in Carolina and their cover three, and now they're doing more man
Well, that's
stuff, which
the
is cool.
Milano and Edmonds. It's
Yep.
the rundown, the Lamar Jacksons, the Pat Mahomes, the next Josh Allen's, the I mean Aaron Rodgers can still run even at his age, but like that Ian Book kid was running pretty good last night. But like that's where it's going, and that's what he's built to. I mean, just the D line has underperformed this year, which has been a huge issue. It's just, but like you said, Harrison Phillips, he started a little slow this year, had a little bit slow last year, come back from a knee injury, but like he's their Pro Football Focus top rated D lineman the past like 2-3 weeks. Ed Oliver playing out of his mind, especially on his pass rush for a guy who's literally my height. Like I don't think he's 6 foot. Um, but yeah, I mean, Boogie Basham is like so like hit or miss. I haven't heard
Bro,
Greg Rousseau
they
since like
need
week 3.
they need consistency, and if I'll
Yeah,
leave you. Do you
Tyler
have? I'm
Tule,
gonna,
you gotta think he's done.
bro. He's got a whole nother year. Don't even go on SpotTrack.com. I'm not gonna spell it.
No, I'm thinking like
SPOTRAC.com.
he's he's got injuries. He was out last year. I know he had a kid. I think that's why he said he missed for COVID. But he can't get healthy this year. That'll make you think.
He came,
Like,
dude. He came in leaner.
You played in the trenches 10 years. That's a
Bro,
lot.
he came in leaner, and what I didn't realize is how young he is too. And
So
I like that he
29.
came in. This is I think he might be younger than that because they got him after
Yeah,
his first contract. So
yeah.
um,
There's just a big beard to make you think he's 80.
dude, man, he's a lunch pail guy. That's what they said about him. Hey, he's a lunch pail
Yeah,
guy. Okay, cool. Great. Well, I'd still take Darius when he was on the Bills, high as a kite. And a lot of people forget that he had family members literally murdered. I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to deal with that. So, like, maybe
yeah,
drive cars fast, do
yeah. He
shit, but he might
definitely.
just be immature. I don't know. I know you have your ear to the ground of players, you know what I mean, and what they do and don't over the years. I
You,
I don't have any sources,
I,
so
I still owe him $50. I told him that it was the national championship. Might have been. I don't think the playoff was done, but it was actually. No, I'm sorry. It was just the SEC game. And I bet that Florida, because my buddy played ultimate frisbee at Florida, so I was like, yeah,
yeah.
$50. Florida wipes the floor with Bama. He's like, I got you. I'm like, no shit. So I owe him $50. We all go through shit, as you know. Like I've gone through stuff. Like everybody's got their thing going on. Like how you react to it is just kind of being human. I guess he didn't react the right way. I mean, he fizzled out in Jacksonville. He couldn't even get in the field for Marone
The
in
thing is
Jacksonville.
like you
So
got to, you know what I mean? Like how that's what I'm saying is like, bro, I'm gonna leave you with this because I think I like our conversation. I'm gonna listen to this and maybe chop it up. If there's any segments you like, because bro, there's these deeper philosophical points, man, which is I used to always think when these GMs and coaches will say, "Hey, man, they gotta love football before you give them money." I'm like,
yeah,
bullshit.
yeah,
Fuck that. No, 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 dude. They have to
yeah,
after they get fucking paid, and they go, "Wait a second, the media is gonna drain me out. Fuck you if I'm gonna go through the playbook and do
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like literally, fuck you. I don't give a fuck, son. I am paid." And I've asked Darius to come on a podcast. He does get back to me, and it was a pleasure to ask him at camp. Thanks again, Eric at Cover One, for getting me there. I say that every podcast, I feel like. But like, shout out to Cover One. But I got to ask him like, "Hey man, you still doing your bike and yoga?" "Yep, I'm still doing that." Awesome. And yeah, bro. So he said, I asked him with the follow up, what kind of bike you ride. It's a Trek. My boy at Icy Vic posted a video about that. Actually, I think he grabbed that. I gotta find it somewhere in the Twitterverse. But like, these players are human beings, dude. Beasley, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of players can't
Yeah,
talk. And and much respect to Aaron Rodgers coming out. By the way, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. I know you're watching. And on the Pat McAfee show, going out for 45 minutes, like, yo, this is draconian bullshit. I'm not gonna play this shit. Like, that the left's gonna cancel me, the right's gonna champion me. I want none of it. And dude, I love it. And dude, Nick, thank you for going to the games. And I just want to talk to you more because it's always fucking fun. But if you have any deep projects or anything deep you want to talk about, it seems like you philosophically have a good view on how the team is built, and with what the
Yeah,
coaches want to
you
do.
know, 30 years. I mean, I played bullshit, but like, I was in the locker rooms. I was in the locker rooms there, so I kind of know. I met a lot of really cool people. Shout out my boy Kroom at Kroom Photos. He's introduced me to a lot of cool people. Shout out Amanda Hyde, who's Micah Hyde's wife. She's been really cool, like no, and like their whole family. They call themselves the Hyde Tribe. Well, she does. You're kind of getting to know them. Like I have a little secret about Milano. I can't tell on the air.
Yo,
Um,
how about Hyde being a class act since he's been here in Buffalo, and for him and Poyer to like, I'm always retweeting Rachel Bush's stuff about the vaccine stuff, and I'll be real with you, man. Like, for them to finally stick up to Jerry Sullivan and go like, yo, pretty much like, fuck you, you're
yeah,
embarrassing. It's like, yeah, because he's the reason I decided to start doing this shit. Him and other people like, fuck you, lay off the players. They got to feed their families, and what you just out of being lazy, out of being fucking lazy,
yeah, that's such a lazy take. Such a lazy
out of
take.
being lazy, you want to try to get people riled up. Like, get punched in the face a few times. You know
Maybe
what I
maybe he
mean?
just went and saw Sebastian Maniscalco. I think it was around that time because that's his thing. Aren't you embarrassed? I don't know. I don't know. No, Mike. Rachel's cool. Jordan's little brother Jeremiah is a real cool guy. I just saw him like a couple weeks ago. Uh, Julie, his mom, real nice lady, real fun person to be around. Like that's the one thing. Like you said, that's the same thing. They're people. I remember we used to go to the Big Tree on Abbott Road there, and we see the players. Everybody wanted to go up there. Hey man, what were you thinking? When you made that throw, or what were you thinking when you made that catch? Like they don't give a shit about that. I remember going up to Chris Ellis. If you remember Chris Ellis, um, he was a D end out of Virginia Tech. I remember him like, dude, I had to be like 24, and I'm like, hey, dude, I do pretty well. I played D3, blah blah blah, trying to look tough, even though I was a piece of shit. And I was like, how good's it doing? How good's the lady situation being an NFL player? And he just grabs two blondes and puts them on his lap. He's like, it's pretty good, man. You need a drink. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world. I remember sitting with Robert Royal talking about how much we hated Jay Cutler because he had no chin. I'm like, that is the most punchable face in the world. You know what I mean? No chin. That was the.
And
And it was the. This is a throwback. It was Broncos Chargers. Chargers had Philip Rivers when Philip Rivers ran to like the 50-yard line midfield and was talking shit to Jay Cutler over there.
that's
It was the
so
fun. We
funny.
were just talking about how much I just want to punch him in the face. And who's the D line? Who's 99 before Darius?
Stroud.
Marcus Stroud. Marcus Stroud. If Marcus Stroud sees me, he gets nervous. So long story short, the owner Danny, his daughter Gina was a good friend of ours. Tissue's tailgate with us. Met her through my boy Noah. Shout out Noah. Fuck you. Um, so I was buying shots, right? And I think I had my dad's credit card on tap. So I'm just shots. And then it's around now. He's like, I gotta get home. I got, Christmas, the wife. And I'm like, all right, one more round. So he's all fucked up. He had to get a ride home, I think, from just one of like the Bills assistants. And next year we sneak in the front row during preseason, and I'm like, Marcus, big tree, and he's like, who's yelling? I'm like, big tree, and he goes, you, no, no. I'm like, let's go. I think I got cut.
Yo, we should get. Do you want to try to get him on the podcast and interview him about this?
I don't think. Well, as long as it's virtual like this, so I don't. He was not happy with
Yeah,
me. I got him way too fucked up. Probably around Christmas.
I think it's a great time to get
I don't.
there. I'm
That had to
gonna.
be. That's at least 12, 13 years ago.
Yo, I'm
If
gonna
he
hunt him
remembers,
down. I
that's
thought
that's
I
on
think
him.
wasn't he on. I think he was on Twitter, dude. I'm gonna find his ass, dude. I'm gonna hit him up.
Let's go for it. I have a lot of fun play. Like the coolest one I just saw from a distance, but my buddy Don Tober got it when Marshawn Lynch flipped out on the coaches his last week in Buffalo, and
No
had
shit.
that same muscle car that he hit the girl with on Chippewa, and he takes his playbook and he goes fuck this shit and throws it out his front window, and my buddy Don Tober grabbed the offensive playbook. He was so done with Buffalo. And then next week after, shipped out to Seattle. It was the craziest.
Well, that's a whole nother topic because we knew he was gonna go. He knew he was gonna go. He probably didn't want to believe it.
Oh,
Like, no
he
way.
was done. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just cool to see
Uh,
him flip out and throw his playbook.
dude, you probably have like a million of these. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of like 2 or 3 more, and then I want in the background we're gonna find these people to interview. We're gonna get these people, dude.
All right, here's one you can get to interview, and I will shit on him to his face. Kirk Chambers is my least favorite sports player of all time. I would rather go take drinks with Barry Bonds, Tom Brady, all of them, instead of Kirk Chambers. I hated Kirk Chambers so much. So when we used to park in lot one, right by the field house there. There's lot one right next to the mud lot is behind us. Shout out if you jump through a table in the mud lot. So the players would leave there and they were stuck in traffic. And Kirk Chambers let up like 3 sacks to Trent Edwards, who they were college teammates. So I grabbed like 3 of my buddies. I think it's my buddy Greg, John, and Noah might have been there. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm sitting there. I'm like,
yeah.
Kirk, this is you. I get in the stance. I snap the ball to the quarterback, and I just go, huh? I let the guy go and tackle the guy who was pretending to be quarterback. And I'm just sitting there yelling, this is you, Kirk. And he's just, I'm going to go kill a kid. I'm going to go kill a kid. I had to be 25 years old. And he's like, I'm going to kill this kid. I'm like, drunk. My dad drove me home at that point.
Was he
I'm like,
driving?
bring it on.
Was he driving or
If
walking?
He wasn't driving.
Oh my god.
He was driving. He had this big. They all had that Chevy 2500. I think players still all get that.
100%, bro. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, I remember when I first met you, your boy, I think Greg Obama on Twitter,
Yeah.
right, or something. He would go after.
Yeah,
he would call
yeah.
players out on Twitter, and be like, "Yo, bro, you're fucking partying Saturday night." And I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you are partying." And then next thing you know, I maybe meet a barber for the Bills one time. He really awesome dude. And he was telling me like how there'd be like these car games with Fred Jackson, as we know, and like Calvin and whatever. But Nick, I gotta go. So I want to say like, where can we find you, bro? Like, do you want people to find you? Do you want them not to hit you up?
You can hit me up. Sorry if I talk shit about you. At NickPap12 on Twitter and Instagram. The big thing that you probably already follow at Pinto Tailgate on Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
Shout out Mama D Kardashian. It was her birthday the other day. Happy birthday, D. We love you. That's Pinto Ron's wife, D Kardashian. Yeah, at NickPap12, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I have a bad TikTok. I'm way too old for it, but I have a TikTok.
Dude, yo, I joined. I put my little art, like my little drywall videos up there. I have like 5.
I put like videos I already have of like Mandy playing catch, and I put little hearts around it. Put that.
I'm trying, I might make some money one day going viral. I might go viral on TikTok.
Cool.
But yo, it's just communication, and wherever it goes, we just got to get there. So, yeah. Nick, I love you more, and dude, it's great seeing you. And I think this thing will still be on.
You let me on, brother. I'm here for you.
All right, that's Nick Pap 12, and you can see the screen, David J. Palermo. To the audio listeners, thank you again. Subscribe everywhere. And if you're looking for content regularly, get the fucking Instagram. Find Nick. He has some good follows. Shout out to Buffalo Rodent. Always follow along. Rob Antonucci, thank you for doing the artwork and beautiful shit. I want to make a graphic for Nick because he's got a fun look. But all right, thank you. It's been Numb Bills Fan 253. Josh is the fucking, the goddamn moose of this operation. So, see you crest out.